so something just went through her head just to start yelling and crying and talking about some you barely know me and all kind of stuff like she like, oh, you barely know me, you can't call me crazy, you don't know what I've been through. Before the video start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because we only going up from here. Hey, this right here finna be a bang. I'm bringing a story time about the craziest guy I ever met, bro. Okay, let's start the story. So, one day I was on the phone with my cousin. His name Kyler, right? So, we just chill on the phone. Somebody added me on Snapchat. And like, they text me or whatever, talking about what's up. Talking about they seen me somewhere, right? So, la da 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 da. That same day, I was doing shout out for shout outs for my story, just so other people can like get these snap scores up and all that kind of stuff. So the girl got to look at my main story. Cause you know you ask somebody on Snapchat, it don't automatically let you look at their story. You gotta wait like a few minutes, then it'll load up. So she see my main story. She like, oh, I don't want somebody who got holes or whatever. So I'm like, I got holes. It's like, look at your story. It's shout out for shout out. She got mad because I did shout out for shout out. And it's like, it was weird because it's the first time somebody ever said that. So that was new to me. And I'm like, I don't got a hold. I don't know none of those people. Those people are strangers to me. And like, she kind of didn't want to believe that. And then like, and one person who sent me the shout out for shout out, like they put their own text on it and it was like add my girl or something like that. So she thought I said it. And I'm like, no, I didn't say that. She already had it. And she's like, no, you got a whole girlfriend. I'm like, no, I don't. I even went to the message of the person and screenshot it and sent it to her. She didn't want to believe it, right? I'm like, you got hoes, you got hoes, you got hoes. I'm like, no, I do not. And then she started sending pictures of herself talking about something. You could have had all this, but nah, bye. And like, I'm the type of person, I don't want to end stuff on bad terms. That's just who I am. I'm a mean and I'm a nice person. If you're new to me, I'm not gonna end it on bad terms because that's just weird to end something on bad terms with somebody you barely even know. So it's like, yeah. So I'm like, chill out. I don't know none of those people. So we got into a whole argument through streets, right? And like we started sending voice messages and stuff like that, right? So I started yelling at her, and then she was like, then she sent a voice message back, so stop yelling at me. My family already yelled at me enough, and I'm like, and then she shrieked herself crying, and I'm like, this girl is really crying, bro. And like this is so new to me. No female ever did this to me, bro. No female ever cried off me yelling at them. So I'm like, I really just made the girl cry by yelling, right? And like, here comes one of the crazy parts. She was just crying. 3 seconds three seconds later, she was yelling at me, talking about some, calling me a dick, an asshole, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, how? Just because I yelled at you on accident because you claim I have hoes, and I'm like, no, I don't. And she barely knew me, and it's like she was like, oh, I seen in your bio talking about some freaky, talking about something. If I want to get freaky with somebody, I can ask a whole bunch of questions. I'm like, girl, where did that come from? I didn't say nothing like that. She brought that up, and I'm like, you're doing too much. And then she told me to FaceTime her and shut up. And I'm like, this girl is aggressive. But like, I FaceTime her stuff like that, right? So I FaceTime her. As soon as she answered the phone, she just started talking around the back. And I'm like, what? And then she would not shut up, bro. I mean, she would not shut up, bro. She kept talking. I'm like, can I say something? And then she was like, oh, you steady arguing about it, just put it behind you and stuff like that, and let's just start a new conversation. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care, girl, I barely knew you, I don't care. So So we started talking, and then she was like, "If you wanna be with me, unadd every female on your snap. Unadd every female on my snap, bro. Bro, she said unadd every female on your snap, your best friends list, and any females you got streaks with, bro. That's and you barely know me, and you want to do all that, right? So I'm like, what? You go? I'm like, you want me to unadd every female on my snap? They talking about some only the ones you got recent messages with, and I'm like, you doing? I'm like, I told that girl she's doing too much. I told her she was doing too much, and then she started talking about something. Do you want to be with me? And I'm like, girl, she added me on Snapchat and she texted me. She wanted to be with me. I'm like, bro, you're doing too much, bro. And then she just wouldn't get it through her head. And then one thing led to another. I called her crazy. And when I call her crazy, it's like something just went through her head, just started yelling and crying. And talking about something, you barely know me, and all kind of stuff. Like she like, oh, you barely know me. You can't call me crazy. You don't know what I've been through. Da da da. I have a reason to be acting like this. La da 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 da. And I'm like, this girl is really going ham, bro. I didn't know what to do, bro. And it's like she started yelling, and I'm like, I really don't get it because you just claim she got mad because I claimed she was crazy, but she was trying to say she's not crazy, she's just bipolar. And I'm like, how you gonna get mad at me for calling you crazy, but you trying to claim I had hoes? So that's what I don't get, right? So she was like, didn't I tell you I was suicidal? I'm like, no, you did not. The girl was trying to say that, bruh, she would not shut up. When we first got on the phone, she told me her whole life story. But when I call you crazy, then you want to tell me the bad things that happened in your life. You supposed to tell me that. You should have told me that when you was talking about your life and wouldn't shut up. Girl talking about her cat. Girl, I don't like cats. Girl, I don't have a cat myself. For that girl talking about. Girl, I'm talking about something. Oh, when I grow up, I want to have a cat like this in my house, all kinds of stuff, right? And then it's weird because I can tell the reason why she don't have a boyfriend, because it was like, because she was like, a boy earlier had called her bipolar, stuff like that. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, so this girl just was texting another nigga earlier? You that crazy that you met a nigga earlier that day and it didn't work out with him, so she's basically trying to say every time it don't work out with one nigga, she go to the next one immediately. So it's like, so we're trying to say you be messing up that bad that you mess with multiple niggas in one day. And I'm like, and she was trying to move fast. Like, girl, I don't know you. I don't know you, bro. I did not know that girl, bro. I did not know her, and like, it's crazy. And then it was weird, cause like, she wanted me to unadd every female on my snap, but I told her I have an image. Like, I do TikTok, I do YouTube, I be on Snapchat doing funny shit on my private story and shit like that. Like, that's just me. Like, I like to be goofy around and stuff like that, right? And it's like, I told her, I'm like, adding every female on my Snap, that's like ruining my image myself, because I have a female audience and I have a male audience, and my female audience, like, yeah, my female audience is part of me, and my male audience is part of me too. So it's like, you basically trying to make me do the unimpossible. And it's like, it's weird because unadding every female on my Snap, that's basically asking me to delete the whole app at that point. It really makes me want to delete the whole app, because I get 500 views on a daily, probably even more than that. And when I look at my views, I see females, I see female and males, but I think I see more male. Like I think it's like a 40% male, a 40 and a 60% female. But I don't know, cause like yeah. So so I'm like, you really asking me to do this? She like yes. They talking about I'm gonna check. She talking about something, and I wanna see your recent snaps too. I'm like, this girl acting like she know me for years. She was acting like she was my childhood friend, like she know me, bro. And like this girl, she was like, da 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 da. So we got to an argument the first night we met. Only knowing each other for 3 hours. She hang up in my face. She add me on Snapchat and all right. So the next day I just forgot all about it. Right. Let me tell you this. She's so crazy, bro, that I remembered her number. She's so crazy. I remember her number, bro. And I'm like, what? She texts me hi, not hey with the H-E-Y. She texts me H-I, hi. You know what my dumb ass did? I texted her back. Then she was like, oh, it's a private story. Yeah, I like that. I had a freaky private story, right? She talking about something, and you got a freaky private story. I'm like, girl, everybody's in my freaky private story. And she like, delete it. Fuck, I like delete my freaky private story. Everything that I done put in my freaky private story, you want me to delete it? That means everything that I screen record, save, just to put in that private story for other people to do it, it's just a waste of time. And I'm like, you really asking for all this, right? Bruh, I'm telling you, bruh. So the day after the shit happened, she's talking about something, it's a private story, all the females gone. So I lied to her and I said that if I deleted, will you talk to me? She called me. She FaceTimed me. So we got on the phone, so she started talking. And when she answered the phone, it started raining outside. And the night we met, it rained too. And it rained as soon as she texted me on Snapchat, it started raining that night. So the first night it happened, I was like, oh, that's just the rain. But when she called me the next day, it started raining again. And I told my cousin what happened that night. I told my cousin what happened that night when me and her met. I was like, hey bro, Colin, bro, this girl, she acting crazy and stuff, and I barely even know her and stuff like that. But she was pretty though. So it's like, yeah. So next day, talking about something, she answered the phone, and she called me and I answered the phone, and she was crying and laughing. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, oh, she's like, nothing. My mother just got done yelling at me, and she just laughing and crying. I'm like, your mother just got done yelling at you, you laughing and crying. And she was like, it's okay though, I'm gonna get her back. And it's like, she was like, oh, my mother, she was like, me and my mother, she said every time her mother do something to her, she does something back to her mother. Like, she was like, she deleted all the apps off her mother's tablet. She flushed her mother's jewelry down the toilet. She messed up her mother's favorite soap dispenser. And it's like, so that was the type of people y'all are. And it was crazy, but I didn't call her crazy again, because I did not feel like listening to that whole thing again, bro. I'm telling you. So talking, she talking about something. I'll get more people to view your snap. Girl, I don't want your people to view my snap. And quote, she's mixed, by the way, but she don't live with the black side of her family. She live with the Caucasian side of her family. So it's like, yeah, so it's gonna be so she basically trying to say she was gonna get Caucasian people to look at my snap. And it's like, girl, I don't want your people looking at my snap, because it's gonna be weird. It's your people, so I'm just gonna be entertaining people, you know. Like, stop it. So we on the phone. It's almost like the private store. All the girls I'm talking about. I'm laying down on the bed. I'm like, she put a time limit on me. She talking about some 60, 59. I'm like, this girl really doing this shit, bro. And I'm like, girl, just chill out. And it was like, I don't know. So she was talking about some other shit. So then she changed the subject to talk about it later, and then she started talking about some clean up her room and stuff like that. So we just talking on the phone. Then she was like, I'm finna go in the kitchen, put yourself on mute. So I put myself on mute, right? Just to see how her family act, right? So she was like, her mother, when she said her and her mother do stuff to each other, her mother didn't sound mean. But like, she told me a whole story about her family, but I'm not gonna give too much detail because I'm not the type of person to give out personal information, right? So, and then her mother and stuff talking about some cupcakes, I think, or whatever. And her father, she was like, did you hear my father? I'm like, yeah. And I think her father was like yelling, I think. I don't know. And she went in her mother's room and stuff like that. She was like, oh, this is a tablet. I delete everything off of and stuff. So I'm like, wow. And then she had her mama's phone and she was like, oh, yeah. So, okay. Here comes the best part, bro. So time passed by. Forgot all about it, right? The other day, I was on the phone and she called me, but I didn't know her number. And like, when I answered the phone, it was like, all I saw was the ceiling, and then she was like, I got bad news. And I thought it was somebody that is a friend of mine that I forgot to say the number. And when she brought that camera down, bro, but it didn't rain. And I'm like, and she was like, I dyed my hair purple. And we was on the phone 5 minutes talking about, oh, I dyed my hair purple. And she was her best friend talking about, oh, we gotta deal with her mother and stuff like that. Right? So, she hang up the phone and never heard from her since. I don't know if she still got my number. I don't know. But that girl was crazy. That girl crazy as shit, bro. Hope I never met another girl like that, bro. But this was a story time about the crazy guy I ever met, bro. I don't know if I ever go talk to her again. I don't know. But this story time about the craziest guy I ever met. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna be recording more story times while this quarantine and stuff going on. I'm gonna get back on the grind. I'm gonna start recording more videos, come up with more ideas, see what I can do, and go up from there.
Since her been a minute, made. Wash up with Clorox, shine clean up, stain. Thinking about bringing this family pain. Hold me a pain. Yeah, pass me that tabs.